Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
An IPL season that shattered the ceiling on run scoring culminates in a clash between the two teams most responsible for raising the roof. Kolkata Knight Riders versus Sunrisers Hyderabad it is to decide the mantle of champions. We build up to the final of IPL 2024 on Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. The biggest stage, and so we've got the biggest couch possible. Tom Moody, Mitch McClenaghan, Varun Aaron and Wasim Jafar, all to help set things up. A fitting final for the kind of season we've seen, Tom?
I think we've got the two best sides, without a doubt. I think they've played the most consistent cricket, and as you quite rightly said in your intro, that they have raised the bar considerably to how the game can be played and can be, and can entertain us all with, the way it's gone about, the sixes that have been hit, the power play destruction of both Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head, and then you got Narayan and Phil Salt have done it throughout the tournament. Now, we would never have dreamt that, those types of records would have been broken.
Also continues the trend of 1 versus 2, eventually making it to the final.
Yeah, I think those two were the best teams who have played consistent cricket, most dynamic cricket, positive cricket we have seen, and they've done most of the hard work, in the most part of the tournament. So yeah, deservedly, two good teams are playing the finals.
Does everyone have KKR down as favourites, given just the consistency of the season they've had?
I would say so, but Sunrisers are dangerous because I feel Sunrisers have literally changed the way you look at scores. Because before this season, anything above 210, 215 was a match-winning score. But now, the moment they started hitting those 270 plus, 280 plus scores, even if somebody had scored 250, we all felt, this could be chased. So they really deserve a spot up there. But KKR are going in as favourites, but Sunrisers are big challengers.
Just 3 losses for KKR all season. Enough to put them just slightly ahead as favourites going into it?
Oh, they're definitely favourites. They've played the most consistent cricket throughout the season, and that's why they've obviously only lost 3 games. But I think SRH have got an advantage by having played in these conditions a couple of days ago. So I think that's going to be important when it comes down to giving them a potential edge against KKR.
KKR favourites for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've got a very well balanced side, and I think they've got the spin, certainly the best spin attack to deal with any conditions that do offer. But as my fellow panellists have said, Sunrisers are a dangerous side, so it's going to be a close contest.
And if there's one man who knows a thing or two about coming up in a final against a side who have been outright favourites and stopping them, it is Pat Cummins, and he leads Sunrisers Hyderabad. What are the keys for Sunrisers to try and stop this KKR machinery?
They've just got to play fearless. I think in the qualifier against Rajasthan, they came out with an attitude to win, and I think that's the Aussie way, and that's what Pat leads from the front trying to do, and playing positive cricket and showing no fear of losing. So it's a lot is going to come down to mindset. Will KKR be able to absorb pressure, because finals do ebb and flow, and I think we saw Sunrisers be able to absorb that really nicely against Rajasthan. And Sunrisers for them as well, they'll take a lot of confidence. At the start of the season, yes, they were scoring big scores, but their bowlers were also going for a lot of runs. And as the tournament's gone on, we've seen their bowling unit really come together and start contributing to wins as well.
What learnings will Sunrisers have taken from that defeat in Qualifier 1?
Well, I think they got the toss wrong, but it's a different venue. Chennai has played differently. It will spin, and even though their spin has done well in the eliminator, they'll have a lot of left-handers to deal. KKR, I'm talking about, they've got Rinku, they've got Venkatesh Iyer. So it will be a different strategy, but I think they are a dangerous side. If their batters fire, that matchup against Head and Stark, if Head gets a good start, then this team can post any score. So if the batting clicks, they've got the strength in their bowling to do something special.
So much of what Sunrisers do hinges on how they start with the bat. Given what happened in Qualifier 1, and given that now with firing Mitch Stark, KKR have pretty much no chink in the bowling armour, how do SRH go about taking that attack down?
I think Travis Head will be a little bit more cautious against Mitchell Starc. I think there's been a strong enough pattern that he's got him out often enough in a very similar way. So I think he may slightly adjust how he looks at his first over. But outside of that, I think it'll be business as usual. Both Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head will go hard at the KKR attack. And where the interesting part of the game is going to be is when spin comes in and how they deal with that.
Let's get into the Sunrisers bowling perspective now. How do you first stop Narayan and Gurbaz, who in the game he played also showed that he's going to operate the same way that Phil Salt was?
I think Bhuvi is going to be the ace up their sleeve for this batting combination, especially. Narayan doesn't like the ball swinging. Bhuvi, we know he's a master of swing. So I think all bets are going to be on Bhuvi to get Narayan out in the beginning. If that doesn't work, Pat Cummins has a really, really good bouncer. He could threaten Narayan with those kind of deliveries. And Gurbaz, if Gurbaz has to get out, he might just get himself out because he just takes a lot of risks, and he might get out at any point, or he might just pull off something miraculous. Gurbaz is that kind of player. But Jaydev Unadkat also might be a good option because he's somebody who can take pace off really well to Narayan. And if we saw that game of KKR versus RCB where Yash Dayal got him out with a slow ball and bowling a lot of slow balls and variations up front, that could also work.
As good as the KKR top order has been, the finishers, while not having the volume of runs, perhaps thanks to the top order, have done a lot of damage. The best bets for Sunrisers in trying to keep the likes of Russell, Ramandeep, even a Rinku down?
Yeah, I think we've seen taking wickets earlier, obviously, to try and get them in earlier and put them under some pressure in positions that they haven't been familiar in throughout the season. I think they've really come in and put the icing on top of the cake for KKR. And when you've got momentum in a batting innings, it's a little bit easier to be able to finish the way they've done. So you've got to find a way to put some pressure on the top order so they're more reliant on those guys coming in. And pressure in finals has a massive effect.
If you're looking for positives as Sunrisers fans, the one bad outing that KKR have had as a batting unit did come at Chepauk. It was a long time ago, start of April, but they managed only 137 for 9 when they batted first against CSK. The added knowledge of the kind of impact Shahbaz Ahmed and Abhishek Sharma had against Rajasthan Royals, how does that influence the bowling plans for Sunrisers?
I think that they'll go into the final with confidence, knowing they've got spinners that can have an impact in the game. But I think this is a very different situation, different team that have got a lot of left-handers in their lineup. So that'll sort of have a counteract against that, two left-arm spin influence. And I'd be surprised if they don't also keep their options open, Sunrisers, with their impact subs, depending on how the game unfolds. Because I don't think Shahbaz Ahmed was the given impact sub in that game against Rajasthan. So I think they'll go in with the same approach and just take it as it is.
All right, let's talk matchups. Quite a few possibly riveting contests within this contest. Wasim, to you, a matchup that could have a huge bearing on this game?
Well, I think Mitchell Starc versus Head because SRH will look at Travis Head to give them that kind of start that they needed. And obviously, Mitchell Starc has his number. He's got him out a few times. So that matchup is very, very crucial to where the final is going.
Mitch?
I think Heinrich Klaassen in the middle against Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan. He's had success against both of them. So that's going to be a trend that he'll be hoping to continue because I think once those spinners, the KKR spinners, get going in the middle and get on a roll, that's when we've seen them demoralise teams. So that's going to be a key matchup.
For me, it's going to be Natarajan against their power hitters at the back end. Natarajan's had a terrific season and really sort of flown under the radar, hasn't got the recognition that he should have been given. So I think his overs at the death will be critical against the likes of Rinku and Russell in particular, and those overs will be shared with Starc and Bhuvi. I'd say they'd probably bowl 2 Natarajan, 1 Bhuvi and 1 Pat Cummins to finish off for the last 4.
That's the setup done then for the IPL 2024 final. Let's tuck into one final round of predictions. Wasim, who's winning the title?
Well, I think KKR is the favourites, but you can't, I won't be able to pick one because I think Sunrisers are very dangerous side. So I'll keep
Please
it
give
open.
me a 51-49.
51 KKR.
Okay. Varun?
I go 52 KKR.
All right. Mitch?
I think KKR.
Sunrisers.
All right, Tom Moody says Sunrisers will win. The others back KKR. One way or the other, a long weight will be lifted. Sunrisers were last champions in 2016 under Tom Moody. Kolkata Knight Riders last won in 2014. So a big weight will be lifted for whichever team is crowned champions at Chepauk. Be sure to join the build-up to the IPL 2024 final just before toss time on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.